Hey, it's October 2016. Time to answer some of the questions you've left me in the comments in the videos I've made over the last month. And so let's get started. Now, the first question comes from Morton. I'm not sure how I pronounce your last name. Bietile. Bitley. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Wants to know, can you make a vid about how to talk to a camera? That is something I've just kind of learned to do over the last, 8 years making YouTube videos. The one thing that I do, and maybe this will work for you, is I pretend that I'm talking to a friend of mine. I treat the camera like a friend. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Now I'm looking at the camera just like I would look at my friend and get my point across. And I think if you try that, it may be helpful. It's a mental trick, but it works. But there's still times that I get plenty nervous for reasons unknown when I sit down to make a video. But hopefully you'll find that to be a helpful little trick. Okay, the next question comes from Tibby Dude, Garth Arenzi. I'm not sure how I pronounce your last name, Garth, as well. And he's writing in response to the video I made about moving back to the Mac because my PC is kind of flaked out with USB devices and the video card is not working too well. And so I've basically set up my MacBook Pro to run Parallels Virtual Machine in Windows, and I'm using it for business during the day and using it as a Mac at night. And I have to tell you, Garth, I couldn't be more pleased with the way the things are going. The virtual machine's working out great. I love the fact that I can take snapshots and that I can roll back the machine if something gets screwed up. It's very fast because it's running off the built-in SSD on the MacBook Pro. And I love the fact that I can just minimize Windows altogether and go right into the Mac desktop. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So it's working out great for me. But nonetheless, I'm eager to get my PC back up online because it's a much more powerful computer than the MacBook Pro when it comes to the specs. And I do love to play my video games, so I can't wait to get it back up and going. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, the next question comes from Travis Mays. Travis says, can you help me out if you put your photos on Google Photos and you want to download them back to your device? How would you do that? I'm trying to figure that out. So Google used to have a thing called Google Takeout. They've changed that slightly, but if you log into your Google account and then you go to your privacy, and I think it's privacy and data. Let me bring that up here. Privacy and personal info. You can then download your data. Essentially, what it'll do is you tick the photos, it'll create an archive, which is essentially a file folder with all the JPEGs of all the images you've uploaded to Google Photos, and then download them to your drive. And then, of course, you could push them out to your mobile devices that way. As far as getting them back from from the cloud back to iOS, I'm not sure how you'd go about doing that, but to me, this would probably be the best way. And you can do them all in one fell swoop, and that's the big thing right there. Hopefully that answers your question. If anybody else knows of a way to get your Google Photos back down to your iPhone, hey, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, the next question, and is kind of a question and a comment all in one. This is from a video I did about 5 things I didn't like about the MacBook Pro. I still get plenty of feedback on that video, by the way. It comes from a Bart Ohms who writes, DVDs, ? Old technology is all cloud now. Ethernet, I work for a company that does not have any Ethernet cable in the building. Wi-Fi is the new standard. Audio jack, ever heard of Bluetooth? Color space, did you try to calibrate your screen? If you're running virtual machines, buy a bare bones PC and you can run your hypervisor on. Your video makes no sense. All right. Boy, where do I start with this? Let's talk about DVDs for a second. I just happen to have a number, like my Office Mac for Mac is on DVD. I still happen to have some stuff on DVD. My philosophy is on a professional class laptop, at least provide us with a DVD drive, whether or not it's built into the machine or not, whatever. I don't really care, but to me, I think a professional class laptop should come with the DVD drive. But apparently a lot of people disagree, and that's fine. Now let's talk about Wi-Fi. Bart, have you ever tried moving around massive 20, 30 gigabyte 4K video footage on Wi-Fi? It's ridiculous. It takes too long. So of course I want Ethernet capabilities. As a matter of fact, my next major purchase is going to be a Thunderbolt dock from the MacBook Pro. That way it has an Ethernet cable with port with it. So believe me, you don't want to be pushing around mega-sized files over Wi-Fi. Now back to your question about the audio jack. I don't think people fully understand what a mix-minus setup is, but essentially, in the world of podcasting, when you're interviewing somebody, say Skype or other means, you don't want them to get their own voice back in a kind of a feedback. So the solution is called a mix-minus, and you want to take the output of the Skype signal, the out, run it through a mixer, and then send back to the guest everything but their own channel. So you need an audio in jack and an audio out jack to accomplish that. Now, of course, you can buy add-on audio adapters and get input and output jacks. I feel that the MacBook Pro should have both. And you can't use the combo jack. It won't work with a mix-minus scenario. Sorry, it just won't work. You have to have both dedicated in and output jack. I have a very specific use case. I get most people, this is not a big deal. In my world, for podcasting, yes, it is. Of course, I can get the Thunderbolt dock that I'm going to buy has a audio in and out interface anyway. Still, $2,500 laptop, come on. Again, that's maybe just me, but I have a specific use case. Did you ever try to calibrate your screen talking about color space? Well, apparently you never seen my video on the Spider 5 Express. Wonderful color calibrator. I've got every one of my displays color calibrated. Works great. If you're running VMs, buy a barebone PC where you can run your hypervisor on it. Why? I run Parallels on the MacBook Pro. It's done a great job running my Windows 10 virtual machine. No need to do any more than that. Your video makes no sense. To you, it makes no sense. To me, it makes perfect sense. We agree to disagree. How's that? Okay, so recently I did a video bitching a little bit about Adobe customer support, which pretty much sucked ass in my opinion. And most people tend to agree with me on that. Evan Zamar wants to know, why not use Final Cut Pro 10? That's what I'm cutting this video on today, is Final Cut Pro 10. I got to tell you, though, I really enjoy using Sony Vegas, which unfortunately is a Windows-only app. And no, you don't want to run a video editor on a virtual machine unless you're asking to die of old age to render a video. You want to run as close to the hardware as you can. Okay, a while back I did a video about a day that really changed my life, all thanks to a friend that I named Sam in the video. Sam was a good guy, but he got into a lot of trouble, and eventually he ultimately got me into trouble with a department store on a shoplifting charge, and it turned my life around and decided I didn't want any part of that life anymore. Now, Sam wants to know, Sam's Club wants to know, when's the last time you heard from Sam? Well, unfortunately, Sam passed away many years ago, and the last time I spoke to him would have been in the mid-90s. My wife and I were entering a restaurant as he was leaving, and we stood out in the parking lot and shot the breeze for a few minutes. And at that time, he was talking about turning his life around, which he ultimately did. He settled down with a nice girl, got away from the booze and the drugs and all that stuff, and became a heavy equipment operator. But unfortunately, he contracted a bad case of viral pneumonia, and he passed away from it, unfortunately. And I miss knowing Sam's around. I wish I could go back in time and change a few things, but I can't. You know, the point of this story is, sometimes it's too late. You don't want things to be too late when it comes to a friend. If you care about somebody and they need your help, by all means, reach out to them. You know, tomorrow's not promised to anybody, all right? So there you have it. Kevin Guan is responding to the video I did about 5 reasons not to switch to a Mac if you're a Windows user, and writes, oh, I think we should make a video about 10 reasons not to use Windows, question mark. Well, first off, Kevin, there's a number of those kind of videos on YouTube. I mean, there is a plethora of them. My concern chiefly is that I've already taken enough grief off of the comments from the 5 reasons not to switch to Mac. I don't know if I really want to get in that whole thing anymore. I want to make more interesting videos, more visually appealing videos, and more stuff not necessarily related to tech as much. There's plenty of people out there. Use what you like. If it's Linux, use Linux. If it's OS 10, use OS 10. If it's Windows, use Windows. Whatever you like. It's not a religion, it's an operating system. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. And I just don't really want to make any more of those kind of videos. The vitriol that I get, the negativity, it's not worth it for the sake of views. I'm one of those people that I want to create little movies here for you, and I want to entertain you and educate you and have a conversation. But what I don't really want to get mixed up with anymore is all the trolls, the vitriol, the tech wars. I just don't want to get involved with that kind of shit anymore. And hopefully you understand it's just not what I want to do. And I'm really not going to espouse one type of technology over another anymore. I'll give you my opinion, what I think might be the best fit under a certain use case scenario, but I'm done. I'm just done with that shit. I'm not really interested in saying Mac is better than Windows or Windows is better than Mac. It's what's best for you. How's that? No, I appreciate the idea, but just no way in hell I'm going to make another one of those kind of videos. So that's just me, but hopefully that answers your question, and I think that's going to wrap up this installment of Q&A. Leave me questions down below. I'll try to get to them in the next video. I need to do more of these because there's literally hundreds of questions that I did not address, but look forward to hearing from you. Everybody, take care. Thank you so much for watching.